Hermione explains private international law. Part 1. Who are you in the eyes of the law? Welcome back. In the previous modules, we spent a lot of time talking about countries arguing with countries, courts choosing between laws, legal systems competing for attention. But now private international law does something interesting. It zooms in, way in, and asks a much more personal question. Before deciding which law applies, we first need to know who the person is. Not philosophically, legally, because in private international law, a person's legal identity can determine everything. Their marriage, their divorce, their children, their property, their inheritance, even whether they legally belong anywhere at all. And that is where Module 3 begins. Chapter 1. The identity problem. Imagine you meet a person. Simple enough. Now answer these questions. Which country's law governs them? Which country's courts can make decisions about them? Which country's family laws apply to them? Which country's succession laws apply when they die? Suddenly the answer is not so simple. Because people move a lot, and the law hates uncertainty. Private international law therefore created special tools to connect individuals to legal systems. These tools are called connecting factors. Think of them as legal GPS coordinates. They help courts determine where a person legally belongs, and the two most important connecting factors are nationality and domicile. Concept of nationality and domicile. At first glance, they seem identical. They are not, and generations of law students have confused them. Let's fix that. Nationality. Nationality answers which state claims you as one of its members. It is the legal bond between a person and a state. Think passport, citizenship, political allegiance, protection abroad, voting rights. Nationality is fundamentally about membership. France asks, which nation do you belong to? Germany asks, which nation do you belong to? Italy asks, which nation do you belong to? These are traditionally civil law approaches. Domicile. Domicile asks a different question, not which nation claims you, but where is your permanent home? This is why common law systems became obsessed with domicile. England loves domicile. India relies heavily upon domicile because domicile focuses on actual life, not political membership, but permanent connection. Imagine a woman is an Indian citizen, lives in England for 30 years, owns a home there, works there, raises children there, intends to remain permanent there permanently. Nationality says Indian, domicile may say English, and suddenly two legal systems are raising their hands. This is exactly why PL exists. Hermione's memory trigger civil law systems, nationality common law systems, domicile. Chapter 2. The secret importance of personal law. Now the story becomes even more interesting, because once a court identifies your connection to a legal system, another question appears. What law governs your personal life? This is where we encounter personal law. Think about the most intimate legal questions possible. Marriage, divorce, legitimacy, adoption, succession, family status, capacity. These questions are often governed by personal law. And notice something important. Most legal disputes are about money. Personal law disputes are about status, and status travels. Imagine a woman is validly married in one country. She boards an airplane, lands somewhere else. Is she still married? The answer seems obvious, but legally that question becomes surprisingly complicated because courts must decide whether they recognize that status. The core word. If an examiner asks about personal law, one word should immediately appear in your brain: status. Everything revolves around status. Personal law, status, marriage, divorce, succession, capacity, family relations. Chapter 3. Children boarders and the problem. No court wants to get wrong. Now we reach one of the most sensitive areas in all of PIL. Children. Most legal systems are willing to argue endlessly about contracts. They are far less comfortable experimenting with children because mistakes here affect lives, not just legal rights. Custody of children. Imagine parents separate. One parent lives in India, the other lives abroad. Both want custody. Which court decides? Which law applies? Can one parent remove the child to another country? Can a foreign custody order be enforced? Every one of these questions falls within private international law. Historically, courts often focused on territory. Modern courts increasingly focus on something else, something much more important. The golden principle, best interests of the child. This principle dominates modern child-related PIL. Not nationality, not technical jurisdiction, not procedural games. The child's welfare comes first. Related keyword, welfare principle. Examiners love this phrase. Remember, child welfare best interests principle. Stateless minor. Now imagine something even more troubling. What if a child has no recognised nationality? No state officially claims them, no citizenship, no national protection, no legal identity within any country. This child becomes a stateless minor, and suddenly nationality stops helping. Domicile may be uncertain, citizenship may not exist. Traditional connecting factors become weak. So what guides the court? The same principle again. The best interests of the child. Notice how powerful that principle becomes. When legal identity disappears, welfare remains. Chapter 4. Marriage is easy. International marriage is not. Most people think marriage creates certainty. PIL thinks otherwise. Because the moment marriage crosses borders, dozens of questions emerge. To be continued in part 2. Conflict in matrimonial regime. Matrimonial causes, alimony rules for choice of law, characterization, classification, qualification, renvoi foreign law as a question of fact, Section 45 Evidence Act, and Section 39 BSA arbitration, recognition and enforcement. Foreign legal persons, Hermione's end of lecture summary. Individuals need legal identity, nationality versus domicile, connecting factors, personal law, status, marriage, divorce, succession, custody of children, welfare principle, best interests of the child, stateless minor. When identity fails, child welfare remains supreme. This completes Stage 4, Part 1 in the same Hermione teaching a class style, while adding the deeper concepts that were not emphasised in Stages 1-3, connecting factors, the civil law versus common law distinction, status as the heart of personal law, and the central role of the best interests of the child principle. Part 2 is where the really famous PIL brain melters arrive. Characterization, renvoi foreign law as fact, and recognition of foreign judgments.